we got a quick single figure one today. Welcome back to Figurama by enemyzero. I am enemyzero. This is USAGI YOJIMBO. And this is part of the NECA cartoon line. And playing USAGI in the new DLC for Shredder's Revenge reminded me that I still had this to open up. And yes, I've never opened it. I ordered it when it first came out. I believe it was NECA store exclusive for maybe like the Target Haulathon or something like that. And you know, one of the crappy things about all this exclusive stuff and stuff like that is this is actually super hard to get, meaning I thought it would have been mass produced like at a later time, because sometimes NECA does that. They offer stuff on their website for, you know, limited time. It's hard to get for the next 6 months or so, and then they do more, but they haven't made more of this yet. There is a black and white version, I believe, which I have seen even here in Canada at Toys R Us, which looks pretty cool. It's a sketchbook sort of look, but this original, you know, the original cartoon version of USAGI, the samurai bunny rabbit here, fetches like a medium price on eBay. Not like a crazy price or anything, but it's definitely higher than the retail, and that's sad to see because I'm a fan of people being able to get stuff rather than buying these collectibles to hold on to it and hopefully it's worth, you know, $300 someday or whatever like that. I want the people that want this to be able to afford it, be able to have fun and collect. I don't have a lot of the NECA cartoon stuff, but TMNT videos seems to do real good on my channel. So probably gonna buy a little bit more on the basis of that. I don't have a big cartoon turtle collection, but I do have a few that I've never opened up. I've never opened any of my cartoon turtles other than the Chakahachi and Lotus 2-pack, which I did do on camera when it first came out because I was excited about that one. So this is literally my second ever, I think, cartoon NECA Ninja Turtle on camera. And it's not even a Ninja Turtle. It's USAGI YOJIMBO. And so if you don't know the history of Mr. USAGI, we'll open the box while I talk. So there's, you know, different stuff for us to look at. But there it is, you know, the NECA window box like normal. The awesome full body shot, the actual figure, not a CGI render. And then the figure with all his accessories, all of the cartoon, comic shaded glory. And now let's go over a little history of USAGI, because it's not a Eastman and Laird creation. He's actually a creator-owned creation by Stan Sakai. And I believe I believe the first comic book was in 1986. And he's a complete creator-owned character. He's not owned by a major corporation or anything like that. He's still owned by Stan Sakai to this day. So what that means is Stan Sakai can do whatever he wants with him. Whatever. He can appear in whatever comic book Stan Sakai approves, you know what I mean? It doesn't need to go through a board of directors or a million different yes men or no men or whatever. You know, when the opportunity came up to have him cross over with the Ninja Turtles, it was sort of like, of course. Like, they almost look like they're from the same universe, essentially. They're, you know, giant talking animals. He's not a mutant like the Turtles. He, you know, I think he's from another Earth with, you know, where animals evolve differently than humans or something like that. And that's how he came into the cartoon. I think he was only in the cartoon a couple episodes, and he showed up in the cartoon because Donatello's portal generator, the big one, was like out of whack, and it tuned into Usagi's like dimension, and Usagi, you know, came to our dimension and teamed up with the Turtles, and I think he was in there 2 episodes or so. So this is from just those 2 episodes, like all the accessories and his outfit and everything are what he wore in those 2 episodes. And obviously he definitely, you know, fits in with the Turtles for sure. He's a samurai, not a ninja. He is a giant talking bunny rabbit. So the side of these the cartoon boxes is not much going on here. Volume number 8. I go into the back, you have a couple more shots. You have a couple more of the, you know, original art, I guess, cartoon shots there, which are pretty cool. And there's actually a synopsis of the episode. Like I said, you know, Donatello's portal accidentally transports him to New York. After many a millennia has passed since USAGI YOJIMBO has been in my collection. It's finally time to free the bunny. right, Mr. USAGI is free, and again, I say this a lot with the NECA products, especially cartoon stuff, is it's so screen accurate. Like it's crazy because, you know, USAGI, much like the Turtles, has had a lot of different styles throughout the years, I guess you could say, and this is definitely super indicative of the episodes he was in the cartoon. Same outfit and everything. I call this the chocolate chip cookie outfit. I think it looks like he has chocolate chip cookies all over his outfit. And he's a pretty small figure, just like the episode 2. You know, he jumped through the portal, crossed into our dimension. He fought with the turtles a little bit, and, you know, he was impressed by their skills and stuff like that. And this is his sort of first impression there. And he, you know, went through New York, and he had learned some lessons, and he went to a restaurant with a bunch of people dressed up as bunnies, had to free them in a misplaced heroicism, I guess you could say. But everything is completely screen accurate. Even his sort of purplish bun up top with the 3 layers, that's exactly what he had in the episode. He's got really good texture here. He does have a fur texture on the top of his hands and around his head, so it's not completely smooth. It's got that texture right there, which is really good. The eyes are exactly like the cartoon, even in the coloring. Like, I'm very impressed. NECA usually does really good at matching coloring, and again, the coloring matches the episode so well. And one thing to note about this head, this is the head that he comes with. Obviously, his ears are up. Obviously, they're pulled back like a ponytail a little bit, but they do rotate. There is a joint in there to rotate this. Well, I guess, you know, he could have his ears flopping forward instead of backwards. So he does come with a robe, but to use the robe, you would put on his other head. He does have a slightly angrier head right here, and it's got the same design notes, obviously, as this one. The nice comic shading, the nice texture and everything. Obviously, his ears are folded down, so that's why it'll go in the hood a little bit better. So if you like him with his ready to battle mouth, buck teeth, his little rabbit teeth in there, then this is the head for you. He definitely has the angry eyes there, which look really good. And just like every other NECA cartoon product, I love the comic shading there. Even the outfit too has some cell shading on it, meaning the front is nice and light. But if you actually look at it from the side, it does, you know, cut to the darker half on the back right there. So you give it a little, you know, comic shaded shading on the back, just like the show. And it looks really good. Like, NECA does an amazing job turning these old, you know, detailless cartoons into something that looks just like it, but it's a 3D sculpture. It's pretty amazing. So some articulation notes. Obviously, the head does come off, but there's a ball joint there, so he gets lots of movement. He can look up pretty well. He can look down very well too. Side to side, of course, he can do the Exorcist, and this head is removable, like I said. One thing to note on his arms and legs is just single joints, but I don't really think you could do double joints based on his outfit and his size. So I'm okay with single joints at this point. So, you know, gets a straight sort of 90-degree angle right there. The hands I was pretty impressed with. The hands have a lot of movement, and they move really good, forward and backwards. And this whole chest piece too is actually a soft plastic piece. You can look up it and actually see the body in there. So there is, you know, articulation at the waist. There is a swivel right there. But this being a soft plastic piece, it doesn't hinder the arm movement at all. Going down to the legs, this piece is all, you know, soft right there. So you can put the leg up almost straight there, almost straight out. Big old joints here. But like I said, single knees, not double knees, so he can't go back all that much. But you do get a good range of movement with the hips right there. So again, I don't foresee you wanting to put him in a pose that he can't go in due to that limitation. Like, this is obviously a traditional samurai outfit that he's wearing. They are very puffy, you know, very loose. I don't know if puffy is the word I'm looking for, but very, very loose. And the pants fit that same aesthetic too. But obviously you have to bend the knees, so it does have that joint there. If it had a double knees, it would look much worse than this, I'm pretty sure. The feet look great too. They are fur textured down there. They do have the black comic shading lines that I adore, that I am in love with. The foot articulation doesn't need to articulate that much because of this giant, I don't know, pant leg right here. So within the confines of that, it does move fine, meaning it doesn't move forward very much, doesn't move backwards very much, but this is hindering it, right? And due to his size, I don't know, that's not a negative, I don't think, because like theoretically, what pose would you want to do that you can't do because of the feet? So looking at the body, looking at everything, knowing about the character, watching the episodes and everything, this is super accurate to what was on the TV. This is the cartoon right here. Honestly, I don't know why you'd want anything but what this is. This looks so good compared to the Turtles. I don't have Turtles out of the box, but I do have them in the box so I can look at the sizes, you know what I mean? I've never opened my Turtles in Disguise. The only cartoon Turtles I have are the Turtles in Disguise 4-pack. If you watch the channel, I've talked about it before, and they're not open yet. Maybe I'll open them someday. I don't know. All right, so let's check out his other head. All right, so there's his angry head. He doesn't get angry much. He's, you know, very pensive. He's a samurai. He's very calm most of the time. But that's his sort of angry, battle-ready head with his bunny ears sort of down, folded down right there. And it looks good. I like the look with the bunny ears going up more. This is what I picture when I picture Usagi, especially from that episode. But obviously, you need this to fit the robe on, which we'll look at next, which is a soft goods robe. So make sure you check your package. Sometimes I miss these in NECA packages. All right, and the soft goods pack comes with a couple different things. So there is a robe here because he does, you know, wear a robe. Sometimes he wears it in the episode too, but then he does have this in the package too. So this is obviously a belt, and this is, I believe this part is for the swords, because he has a sword and a dagger in a sheath in a holder for his waist. But on the figure itself, there's nowhere to put it. So I think you combo these together to have it hanging from his side right here. So I'll probably do that next. We'll look at that as the first accessory, and then we'll get it on his body. All right, and I got a soft good cape on, and a couple notes about this is I'm not a huge fan of soft goods. The only soft goods that I love are usually capes with wires in them to get cool poses and stuff like that. So this is completely loose, except the hood. The hood actually does have a wire in it, which is kind of surprising. So you can get the hood in whatever sort of shape you want. He kind of looks like it or Emperor Palpatine. This is Emperor Palpatine Yojimbo. Hiya! So, I mean, it is billowy. It is a real, you know, cloth cape, cloak, but it does look pretty similar to his look in the show when he had, you know, the cape on, the cloak on. And I'm sure you can mess with it more to get it looking good. You could probably tie that way better than I can do, but it doesn't look bad for sure. And I'm surprised it has a wire in there. So that's a really good bonus right there. That wire right there. This belt is it's the typical NECA belt, meaning it's not just a piece of cloth, it's stretchy a little bit, so you can, you know, stretch it to however you need it. One interesting note that I didn't know till I took the clothes off, I didn't notice he doesn't have a tail. He doesn't have a little bunny tail. I don't know if that showed that in the show or not, but no bunny tail. So the first accessory we'll look at is almost the piece of the set. This is really cool looking. So obviously this is one of those, you know, traditional old style Japanese, you know, sun hats that, you know, everybody's seen these before. And it's texturized really good. It's got nice lines all over it. It's got the comic shading that I love so much. The black lines, some, you know, contrast here and there. And then the bottom, it's got the recessed sculpt work too. And it's a darker color. It's got black lines. It looks really good. This string definitely sells it though. Like, that's so cool looking. It's not real cloth or anything. It's all just plastic, and it is pretty skinny. So I obviously be very careful with this, but that's another use for this head with the ears folded down. So put it under his chin just like that, and just, you know, fold it up like that. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. That looks so good right there. I might display him with this on rather than the ears because it looks so good. Look at that straight on. Man, they did a great job with that. It fits on perfectly. It slides on. It's staying on. It's not like, you know, falling off or anything like that. Like NECA, that is a good job with that hat. I think you can use the hat with the unangered head before too, because this does come out. So you can put that on there if you really want, if you like this facial expression more than the other one. And he definitely comes with the most adorable dino you've ever seen in your life. And it's in there because it's adorable. There's no articulation. There's no great details. It's got, you know, the comic shading. It's got some eyeballs on top, but it fits in exactly with the rest of the cartoon line. And he's so freaking adorable. All right, first 2 weapons are 2 bladed weapons. So much like, you know, I sound like a broken record at this point. I love the details here. I love how it's nice hard plastic. It's not bent. This is one of those sort of throwing blades. You know, they have all the notes that they need to have. They have the comic shading. They have a lot of different colors. The paint scheme is amazing. The sculpt work, it's nice and pointy. It's nice hard plastic, like I said. So these are worthy additions to the armory. All right, the other 2 blades are a sword and a short sword. It's not quite a dagger. I think it's more of a short sword. So he's got a sort of Ahsoka thing going on here. Obviously, he was around way before Ahsoka, okay? But you know what I'm saying, since that's the new hotness right now. So again, nice hard plastic. Paint job is great. It's got a really intricate handle. I love the handle. I love the wash on the handle. The paint. It's even got, you know, on the like finger guard right there, it's got some black down at the bottom of the blade. So like tiny details like that are so good that NECA does. And they also do come with a sheath to hold them in. So obviously long sword, short sword. And, you know, there's no peg or anything to put this on the body. And so that's why I'm pretty sure this goes, once you wrap the belt around his waist, you put this in the smaller black belt, which we'll see in a second. So you can do his sword sheath in 2 different ways. You could either wrap the big black belt around and have it like that, or this is the smaller loop. You don't need to combine the 2 like I thought. This is the smaller loop, and it's just tucked under his soft good wraps by his, you know, ab articulation. I just have it tucked in there, and it'll hold the swords fine. So, I mean, they do seem a little loose, and yes, they could fall out at any time now, but it does hold the swords where they need to be. This is where he always had them in, at least the pictures that I've seen. This is where he had them right here. All right, and of course he comes with hands like everything else. So the hands are, you know, textured just like everything else. And just so we're clear, USAGI has 4 fingers. All right, this is the only comparison I could do right now, because like I said, my Turtles in Disguise are still in the box. I don't have much of the cartoon line. So this is a Mirage Turtle, which are relatively the same size as those turtles. So let's check out USAGI. So to the top of his head, he's about 4 3/4 to the top of his, if you have the top ears on, goes to about 5.5 inches. And the ears are almost as tall as a turtle, almost, the ears. So scale-wise, he fits right in my visuals of watching the show to do the research for this episode. He fits right into where he looks like in the show, because the turtles are definitely taller than him. So scale-wise, I think he lines right up to me. Alright, and that is USAGI YOJIMBO, NECA cartoon line. It is not a new figure. I've had this sitting around for quite a while since he first came out. For some reason, he's not readily available, which doesn't make sense to me. I want more people to have him. And he's a pretty awesome figure. He fits into the cartoon line super well. He looks great with the turtles. His scale, his color, everything matches the show. What else can I say other than that? It's I do like his posability. It is pretty limited at times, but I just think the look is just spot on, absolutely spot on to what he was in the show. And that's what this line is about, recreating the show rather than the comic book. Obviously, he's got varying looks in the comic book, right? And so this only matches, you know, a couple of them, but it matches the show, the episodes he was in perfectly. Stan Sakai created a great hero for us, and I'm grateful that he crossed over with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So guys, gals, non-binary pals, play with your plastic, have fun. Peace out.